What's going on, guys? Sero here, and in this video I'll be showing you guys the next part of my Jett guide series. The other Jett's videos received a lot of support, so I decided to continue the series for all of the maps. Being an Immortal playing mostly Jett, I've learned a lot. In this video I'll be showing you guys the best ways to entry, play Jett, and even some strategies I implemented from pro matches. You should learn a lot from this video whether you're Iron or Radiant. If you guys haven't seen the other Jett map guides, then make sure to go check them out. As you probably read in the title, this guide will focus on bind, but will include a lot of general advice. With that being said, let's get into the video. Before I get into the guide, I wanted to quickly mention that I've made a Discord server where you guys can come and hang out. In the server, I can respond to any specific questions you guys have. You will also have a chance to suggest videos and even play with me. The link will be at the top of the description and pinned in the comments. Okay, back to the Jett guide. First, I'll go over all the tricks and exploits that can help you get kills. So there are two skill jumps on site. The first one is up in heaven, and what you want to do is you want to run like against this thing right here, jump off of right here, and then you want to glide, and as you're gliding you just want to land on top of this box, and then you can get on top of truck, and from here you could just hold the angle. It's like really useful. You don't have to use any abilities, and to do that all you have to do is you just have to run and jump at this very edge right here. And as the second you let go of the ground, you want to hold space and hold crouch. So if you're crouched, you'll actually be able to make it. If you don't crouch, it'll be a lot harder. So let me show again. And the same thing on top of this box right here. And when you're up here, you could actually move back a little bit until you hit this part right here. And this is the farthest you could stand back. And this is a good spot because nobody really looks up here, especially when they're like most of the time they're gonna run on sites like plant, and you're gonna be right above them. You could just like peek and get a kill and like dash away. So it's like really useful. And from their perspective, it's actually really hard to see you. Like they can't see you here, they can't see you here. They have to be this out to be able to see you. And nobody really looks up here. They're probably gonna be looking back side and stuff. So a lot of people just run like this, just run into side trying to plant the bomb, and I just get a free kill and I like dash away, and it's a 4v5. So the other skill jump is on top of these boxes over here. If you jump from over here using the same technique, you could actually glide on top of here, and you could do this basically the same things, and you could actually glide on top of this box as well, and hold with an op, hold with a rifle. You could fall back after you get a kill, then maybe you could hold showers, and it's just pretty good. So outside showers over here, there's actually a super dash that you could do. And all you have to do is get up against this wall between these boxes, and you have to aim at this corner over here of this orange thing. And then you want to jump, and then you want to dash. And this should get you flying into the air without using any updrafts. And this is pretty useful when you have your ult. You could go pretty high. And this is especially useful if there's smokes on site like this, because you will quickly go up into the air and you can kill anybody that's planting or backside, so it's also pretty good. And the other spot is actually on top of these market ledges, and all you have to do is just updraft and hold crouch, and you should be able to make it on top of here. And with this, you can actually hold for a hookah push. Maybe they get flash, and then you could just like quickly peek, get a shot, dash away. And the same thing is true with this box, with this ledge over here. Get on top of here, and you could just like watch flank. If anybody pushes here, anybody pushes the other way, it's just like pretty good. So this time around, I wanted to start on defense because with Jett you could just hold a lot of angles, and Jett is really good on defense for bind. So on A defense, the first spot I already mentioned is on top of this truck. You could just do the skill jump to get up here, and backing up all the way here and getting free kills. And here I have a clip of me doing it against Immortals. Flash you home.
Be faster.
So easy.
Down A. One enemy remaining. Flawless.
I guess.
So on A site, by far the most important thing you can control is lamps or U-Haul, because if they push site and they don't have control of U-Haul, then you could just peek out whenever you want. And if your teammates peek out of triple or truck at the same time, they really can't get the bomb down. And really, a rule of thumb is that whoever has U-Haul is just going to win the site. If you don't have U-Haul, then you can't really hold it. And if you have U-Haul, then you're just going to win the round. So it's really important to control it. So with Jett, what you could do is just aim around this area, and you could throw a smoke. And it should be a good one-way for anybody trying to push through. They actually won't be able to see you. So from their perspective, this is what they see. and you could see their feet. You have 3 smokes, you could just hold it. So if they're pushing short, just make sure to hold U-Haul and wait for your teammates to rotate. And by the time all your teammates are rotated, you still have control of U-Haul, so it's going to be a very easy retake. So definitely make sure to one-way U-Haul whenever you can. Another spot on A is on top of these boxes, on top of the showers boxes. And even in like Immortal rank, people don't really clear this because it just seems like kind of like a bot spot. And not a lot of people check this. But you could actually get a lot of kills with this. You could get a kill here, a kill here, like even peek out short. And I actually get a lot of kills like doing this myself. And if you want, you could just one-way showers over here, and then you could like dash away, and, like watch it and like fall back. So you're not stuck up here because obviously you're Jett. You could get away really easily, even if you get spotted or anything. So on A site, you could really op anywhere. This is a very common spot right here. Just get a kill, back out, and you could peek showers with the op. And you could push showers with op as well. Clear the angles, like walk out. You can fall back triple. From triple, you could op from both sides. And a really good one is also opping on top of things, like on top of this truck is really good. And then in the beginning of the round on top of here as well. People sometimes don't like clear up here, and you can get a free kill. The only spot you don't really want to be opping is in U-Haul because you really have nowhere to go. And if they push you with like a judge or a rifle, it's going to be pretty hard to survive. So just op anywhere except for U-Haul. And on A site, there's another thing that I really like doing. And this seems kind of simple, but it actually gets me a lot of kills, even in high ranks. So what you want to do is if you hear enemies in hookah, or your teammates tell you that there's enemies in hookah, all you want to do is just throw a smoke into the TP and go into the TP right after the smoke goes through. So it should look like this. And this is really good because right as you TP, the door is opened and they don't have any time to react to the TP noise. And there's just a lot of people just standing here looking at sites, and I insta TP and I just kill them really easily. And here's a clip of me doing it against Immortals.
I know exactly where you are.
Nice.
Wait, close up. Hit 60.
They're both long now. Second long.
So for some wallbang spots, you could actually wallbang this thing right here with rifles, this like wood part. So if you line up on the map, you could just mark this and just spray through. You're probably not going to get a kill, but you're going to do a good amount of damage if there's a whole team running through. And you could do it with the Odin. But with the Odin, you could actually shoot through the top. You don't have to shoot through the wood. And this actually gets me a decent amount of kills, and people don't expect it. They're just going to be running, like walking up, and then you get free kills. Also, you could really wallbang this like almost every round. Because when people walk up short and this is smoked off, they usually just hug this box right here waiting for the smoke to fade. And I just get a lot of kills just peeking out of U-Haul and just spraying this right here, the spot right here. And it's like free kills basically. So when you're retaking, you could just throw a smoke right here, and you could throw a smoke in showers, and then you could just push U-Haul, get control of it. If there's multiple people here, you could cover one way. And then you could peek them one at a time. So this should help you take control of U-Haul. And as I mentioned before, U-Haul is very important. So if you manage to take U-Haul, you should be able to get the entire site. But if there's really not a lot of time and you have to just push them, what I definitely recommend is spraying at this spot right here in pocket. A lot of people camp here after the bomb is planted. And you should always just smoke yourself off and at least tap the bomb. Try to make them peek, and then you could kill them. And obviously you could also, if you're pushing from heaven, if you're retaking from heaven, you could just one-way this, and then you could spray at these spots over here. You know, just like the same spots basically. And in showers, this is just like a free orb. It's really easy to get, and if you are even scared that there might be somebody peeking late, you could just stand on the side of it, and you could just grab it looking the other way, and they really won't be able to see you, even if they push out. So on defense for B, the most common spot is just behind this tube over here, and you could just jump peek hookah. It doesn't require any util, and they really can't hit you. Another shot that I like doing is actually going inside the tube, because the problem with backside is that if they throw a raise nade here, then you're kind of screwed. They have the Sova darted and stuff. But playing inside the tube is also a good idea, because you have smokes to like isolate only one spot. So if they just push site, what I like doing is just smoking right side right here, and then just holding left side with my knives or a judge. It should be like pretty free kills. Like sometimes I could just peek and get like a whole 3K like some guy planting and two guys really close that just dropped out of hookah. So playing inside the tube is actually a good strat. Another strat that is really good but not very common is just sitting right under hookah. And not a lot of people check this, even in Immortals and high ranks. And they just sometimes just dash and like don't even clear you. They just push sight. And this is good on ecos. If you don't really have like the best buy, you could just maybe get like a few kills, try to bring it back. So when you rifle, this is actually a decent spot right on top of this tube, holding for the hookah push. They might use their util like their raise bot and their omen flash, and they'll just swing out and you could just try to get a kill. And the spot over here, you could just glide on top of here. This is also a decent spot if they don't have like a Reyna flash, because that will reveal your location. But you could actually just sit up here, and if they just push out, you could, you know, try to kill them from hookah, try to kill them from garden. Not that many people check up here. So holding hookah, it used to be really OP to just sit with a Bucky like this and just right click them. But after it got nerfed, the Bucky isn't as good. So I recommend a Judge. It's kind of better. You could just sit on top of here. I feel like this is a decent spot to go on top of, because the Raze room bot usually just bounces off this wall and clears this side, but it breaks before it comes back over to this side, so you could get a few kills. And if you want, you could just aim around this part over here, and you could just throw a smoke here. And this should be a good one-way for anybody pushing in. If they're trying a fast push, you could get a few kills of them just being blinded, because from their perspective, they actually just can't see anything, especially if they are close. So make sure to use this whenever you can. Speaking of one-ways, there's another good one-way by elbow to watch any push from garden. So all you want to do is just aim around this general area and throw smoke. And if you crouch, you could actually see their feet. They should be like running in, and nobody's going to really clear this. So you should be able to get a bunch of free kills like this, especially if they come close. And if they drop out of hookah, you can get a free kill. So when retaking B sites, there's a lot of wall bangs. The first one being just shooting at this wall right here. A lot of people camp there, especially if it's like a Sova. And the same thing applies with the other side. There's another one over here. If you want, you could just mark this general area, and you could just spray through, get a few kills, or at least do some damage to anybody that's hiding over here. And obviously this tube, the entire thing is wall bangable, except for this spot. So just make sure to send a few shots through here. So when you're retaking, you always want to make sure to use your smokes. Maybe like one for long over here, one for hookah. You know, you just want to get creative and make sure that they can't shoot you. If you want, you could just like maybe updraft on top of here, you know, smoke off hookah, tap the bomb, and just always make sure to use your smokes, because it definitely provides a lot of cover and it should help you take the site a lot easier. So attack A. As I mentioned before, U-Haul is by far the most important thing that you could control on A site. So most of these ways to entry is just by taking U-Haul. The first way I like to entry and push short is by first having like a Sova drone, maybe from back here, or like a Raze boombot that could help us get to cubby, so that we don't get killed from people standing close, short. And once we've made it to like this general area by cubby, what's a good thing is that if Omen stands over here and throws a flash to U-Haul, and with that, you could just smoke close U-Haul, and you could dash, and then you could quickly clear close rights for pocket, like I showed in other videos, like that. And then after you push out, anybody in U-Haul should be blinded, and most of the time they just run away. And after you got control of U-Haul, it should be pretty easy to take the site. And once you're in U-Haul, you can just throw one-ways around this area of this light bulb on the bottom of it. And this should perfectly one-way anybody trying to go through. You can see them pretty well. And from their perspective, this is all they get to see, and you could just shoot their feet and get a free kill. So the other way to entry is a bit harder, and you need a little bit more map control. So if your teammates are able to push out of showers, and they're holding the guys triple occupied, so they're not looking at you, and you know there's a guy in U-Haul, what you could do is you could throw a smoke close right here to just start walking up. And then as you get a little bit closer, what you could do is you could throw a smoke on U-Haul just to like throw off your enemies. And then you want to throw a smoke on truck. And after you throw the smoke on truck, you just want to updraft and then dash. And then you want to land right in these U-Haul stairs and push the guy that's holding U-Haul and push him behind him. So he's probably going to be standing like around here. And he's not going to expect you to be over here so quickly, especially since you threw the smoke on U-Haul. So from his perspective, he's thinking that you dashed forward trying to push U-Haul, so he's going to be holding this. But in reality, you're right behind him, and this is a free kill. And then obviously just before you could just keep holding U-Haul, and you should be able to win the round off of it. And if you have an op, like let's say you picked it off of an enemy Jett, you don't really want to do the same exact things because opping in U-Haul isn't as good. So what I like doing is just updrafting on top of here and just like hugging the wall so I don't get shot from everything. And once I land, I could just quickly peek like heaven, triple, and try to clear some areas. And once your teammates get sight, you could just hold heaven, push. And if you want, you could hold over here of anybody running out of CT. And this is also good for watching flank if anybody wants to push you, because nobody could really see you if you just tuck away into this corner right here. So like you could get a kill like heaven, dash back and just play the bomb. Even if they take control of U-Haul, you could just get another kill. So for showers, you generally only want to attack showers when you need an ult point to get your knives. So the first thing I like doing to entry is just going against the barrier right before the round starts. And as the barrier goes down, I just have my knife out and I just run on top of this. I jump and I quickly take out my gun. And if you just run with your knife out and jump on top of this, you should be able to get here before your enemies. And that will really catch them off guard, because right as they peek, they're going to be probably holding this and your head is all the way up here and they're not going to expect it. And most of the times they actually have their util out, like a raised boombot will just be aiming at this or something. And you can get a free kill a lot of the time. And also when you're pushing showers, if you get control of the actual showers itself, what I like doing is spraying in this general direction over here. And this should kill anybody that's sitting in this corner on top of these boxes. It's just like to the between these like two like wooden things. And the same thing goes with the smaller box right here. You just kind of want to aim in this general location above in between these like decoration things. And this should kill anybody that's sitting over here as well. Also, what else you could do is you could just run with your knife, but instead of jumping on this white part, you could jump on top of the boxes. And this one is a tiny bit slower, but if your opponents don't run out with their knife as well, you should be able to get there before they do. And this really catches them off guard. And they just, if they swing, even they full run swing, you should be able to get there before they do. And you could get a free kill. So for B attack, it really starts with hookah control. And a good way to control hookah is with a raised boombot. You could just aim it on top of this thing right here. And it should bounce up and it should go into hookah and clear most of it. If you want, you could have a Omen standing over here with this flash out. He could try to flash it. And what else you could do in the beginning of the round is you see this brick over here. If you actually spray at it, you should be able to get some damage off anybody trying to peek. As you can see over here, if they're like standing close, maybe like a Phoenix flash, you could try to get a free kill and maybe even headshot them and make it a 4v5 right off the start of the round. So then with all that util, you should be able to push up and just start clearing angles. So you should clear the left side first by hugging the right wall, and then do the same thing for the other side. So generally your Omen is going to smoke this, but if you're here like way too early and before him, you could just one-way this. And then there's two ways to entry. So the first way is pretty simple. All you have to do is just smoke the top of this tube right here. And then you want to just jump out and then you want to dash so you don't hit this, obviously. So it should look like this. And then from up here, you just kind of want to clear back sight and then instantly drop like this so you could clear anybody inside tube. And if you want, you could throw some more smokes to maybe just like throw them off.
Blocking sight.
So the second way is to basically smoke the same things, except you want to dash to the right instead of the top of the tube, because a lot of the times if they're playing back sight, once they hear the dash, they will start looking up here and they'll expect it. So what you want to do is you actually want to smoke the same things. You want to smoke here and here, and then you want to dash, and then they will see a smoke on top of here. So they will actually be looking up here because they have no idea where you dashed, if you dashed on top of here or you dashed over here. So most generally the time they'll be looking on top of the tube, but you're actually gonna be on the right side, and this should throw them off. You could clear a cubby as you dash. You could push out and you could kill them while they're looking above. And then you could quickly like push through the Omen smoke and start pushing CT. This is a very good strat since you're like really far ahead. And then you could get a kill and then you could just like smoke this and like back out. And this should make like a 5v3 or however many people died on site. So pushing long, it's kind of the same thing as showers. You generally would just want to push hookah because it's just better to dash. But when you're pushing long, what you could do is you could just drive peek it like this if you want. But what else is kind of nice is if you think they have an opper, you could just get on top of this ledge without any abilities. And if they're opping, they won't expect you to be all the way up there. This happened to me quite a few times in game when I was holding down here. And I just see a Jett just full running over here and it just kills me. So make sure to just use this. And all you have to do is just, where these cactuses are in this rock, you just want to move up and you just want to jump. You could obviously do this with all characters, and it's not Jett specific, but it should be a little bit easier with Jett. And you could just push out and clear it. And then once you get like around here, once you get by the orb, what you could do is just obviously just clear the angles. And to entry, what you want to do is just you want to smoke close, like right here. And this should block most of the general angles, maybe even closer, like right here. And then what you want to do is you want to updraft and dash into elbow and take control of elbow really quickly. This is good if you have your knives because you're accurate in the air. So with your knives, it should look like this. And once you're in elbow, you could actually just quickly peek somebody's CT and try to get a free kill. You don't want to like overextend and like throw the round, but sometimes you could just get a kill over here and just like smoke it off and back out. So for B post plant after taking the site, this spot over here tucked in between these boxes is actually a pretty good spot. And if you want, you could hold your crosshair in this general area ready to peek. For example, if you hear them flash, like a Phoenix flash, right after you hear the Phoenix flash, you could just peek out and they'll be clueless. You could get a free kill like that. Just like spray down. You get a lot of kills actually. And the other really good spot is if you get on top of this tube, if you have some time, you could just glide on top of this spot over here. And you could hold for CT. This is good if you have an off as well. They won't expect it a lot of the times, and you can just get a kill and dash into garden and just keep holding for the bomb. So for the ult spots, there are a few on bind, but not as many as the other maps because the other maps just have a really high limit, but bind is just a little bit lower. But some really good ones are just on top of this tube over here and updrafting ones. You should be able to pick off any rotators from CT. And this is good because it only uses one updraft. So even if you use the one updraft to entry onto site, you should still have another one to do this ult spot over here. So on B site, before the round starts, if you want, you could glide on top of this box. And if you want, you could updraft. And you could see into long a little bit. It's not the best one, but it's good for info. And if you're quick and you're pretty accurate, you should be able to even get one kill with this. Also, another one is from CT. If you hear them pushing out of hookah, you could updraft twice. And you could kill anybody that's like pushing site. This one's actually really good. And you could see into long as well. And this is good for info to make sure that they're not rotating onto B or like faking a site. Using 2 will make it go higher. And yeah, this one's also pretty good. So for A site, this one's really good if you hear them planting. Like you're saying with knives, you're playing on A. Once you hear them plant, you could just updraft, get a kill, and then just dash away. This one's a little bit harder, but you should be able to get the timing down. So this last one over here, it requires you to jump on these boxes and just glide over here. And once you're on top of this truck, you could use 2 updrafts. And you could have a good angle onto CT. So we have come to the end of the bind guide for Jett. I hope you guys learned something. These videos take me a long time to make, so make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out a ton, and you can change your mind whenever you want. That's all I have for today. Peace.